Have you ever been mistaken for something you were not? Most people laugh it off and quickly explain the truth. But one successful CEO stayed silent. She let everyone believe she and a struggling single father were a couple, not because she wanted attention, not because she was embarrassed, but because she saw something in a little girl's eyes that was far more important than the truth. What happened after that one simple act of kindness changed all three of their lives forever. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional stories about kindness, hope, and second chances, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Heartline Stories, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories every week. Ethan Brooks had been raising his 8-year-old daughter, Sophie, alone ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier. Every morning started before sunrise. He packed Sophie's lunch, braided her hair the best he could, burned pancakes more often than he admitted, and still managed to get to work on time as a project manager at a small architecture company. Life was never easy. Money was tight. Sleep was rare. But every night, when Sophie hugged him and whispered, "You're the best dad in the world," he felt like the richest man alive. Across the city, Olivia Carter lived a completely different life. She was the CEO of one of the fastest-growing technology companies in America. Her calendar was filled with meetings. Her phone never stopped ringing. She had everything most people dreamed about: wealth, success, respect, but every evening she returned to an empty penthouse. Sometimes success sounded very quiet. One Friday morning, Sophie's school held its annual family day. Parents were invited to spend the afternoon with their children. Sophie had been talking about it for weeks. "You'll come, right, Dad?" Ethan smiled. "I wouldn't miss it for the world." But that same morning, his boss announced an emergency client meeting. Missing it could cost the company its biggest contract of the year. Ethan looked at the clock again and again, praying the meeting would end early. Meanwhile, Olivia had been invited to Sophie's school because her company had sponsored new computers for the students. She planned to give a short speech and leave. As she walked through the school courtyard, she noticed a little girl sitting alone on a bench, trying very hard not to cry. Olivia sat beside her. "Hi there. I'm Olivia. Are you okay?" Sophie forced a smile. "My dad promised he'd come. I'm sure he's trying. He always keeps his promises." Olivia smiled gently. "I believe you." A few minutes later, Ethan came running through the school gate. His tie was crooked. His shirt was wrinkled. He was completely out of breath. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart." Sophie ran into his arms. "You came. I told you I would." Olivia quietly stepped back, happy to see them reunited. Just then, one of the teachers walked over with a warm smile. "There you are. We've been waiting for the three of you. You make such a lovely family." Ethan froze. Olivia looked at Sophie. The little girl suddenly smiled brighter than she had all day. Olivia could have corrected the teacher. Instead, she simply smiled. "Thank you." She said nothing more. For the next 2 hours they joined every activity together. They painted pictures, built paper airplanes, played relay games, took family photographs. Every picture showed Sophie laughing harder than she had in years. For the first time since losing her mother, she looked completely carefree. When the event ended, Ethan walked Olivia to the parking lot. "I should probably apologize." Olivia laughed softly. "For what?" "For everyone thinking." She interrupted him. "I know. Why didn't you tell them?" Olivia looked back toward the playground where Sophie was waving at them. "Because sometimes kindness is more important than being right." Ethan had no answer. A week later, Ethan entered a downtown office building to present his company's proposal for a multi-million-dollar construction project. When the conference room doors opened, he stopped walking. At the head of the table sat Olivia. She smiled. "Good morning, Ethan." His co-workers looked confused. "You two know each other?" Olivia simply replied, We've met. The presentation began. Ethan spoke with confidence. He explained every detail carefully. When the meeting ended, the executives discussed the proposals privately. Later that afternoon, Ethan received the call. His company had won the contract. His boss couldn't believe it. During the celebration, Olivia quietly asked Ethan to stay behind. "I didn't choose your company because I know you." Ethan nodded. "I chose it because I watched you keep a promise to your daughter, even when your career was on the line." She smiled. People who keep promises at home usually keep promises in business too. Those words stayed with Ethan forever. Months passed. Olivia and Ethan became friends. Not because of business. Because of Sophie. Sometimes Olivia joined them for dinner. Sometimes they volunteered together at homeless shelters. Other weekends they visited children's hospitals with books and toys. Olivia realized she smiled more often than she had in years. One afternoon Sophie asked a question. "Miss Olivia?" "Yes?" "Do grown-ups get lonely too?" Olivia looked surprised. "They do. Even CEOs?" She laughed. "Especially CEOs." Sophie reached over and hugged her. "You don't have to be lonely anymore." Olivia's eyes filled with tears. No board meeting. No business award had ever touched her heart like those simple words. Several months later, Olivia organized a charity gala. She invited Ethan and Sophie as special guests. As they entered the ballroom together, several guests smiled. "What a wonderful couple." Again. Olivia didn't correct them. Later that evening, Ethan finally asked, "I've always wondered." She looked at him. "Why do you never tell people we're not together?" Olivia smiled gently. "Because every single time someone says it, I see Sophie relax." She paused. For one moment she feels like her family is whole again. Ethan looked across the room. Sophie was laughing with other children. Completely carefree. He understood. Olivia wasn't pretending. She was protecting a child's happiness. Months turned into a year. Together they started a foundation that helped single parents with childcare, school supplies, and emergency financial support. Their mission was simple. No parent should have to choose between earning a paycheck and keeping a promise to their child. Thousands of families received help. One evening after a community event, Sophie held both of their hands while walking to the car. "You know what?" "What?" Ethan asked. "I don't care what people call us." Olivia smiled. "Why not?" "Because families aren't made by matching last names." She squeezed both of their hands. "They're made by people who choose kindness every day." Neither adult spoke. There was nothing left to say. Sometimes the wisest words come from the smallest hearts. Years later, people still remembered the successful CEO who never corrected strangers when they assumed she was dating a hardworking single father. Many never understood why. But the little girl whose heart she quietly protected understood perfectly. One moment of silence became a lifetime of friendship. One small act of kindness built a family that wasn't connected by blood, but by love, respect, and compassion. Because real kindness doesn't always come through grand speeches or expensive gifts. Sometimes kindness is simply allowing someone else to feel safe. To feel loved. To feel like they belong. And that simple choice can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart, remember that someone around you may be carrying a burden you cannot see. A smile, a kind word, or a small act of compassion might become the moment they remember for the rest of their lives. Thank you for watching Heartline Stories. If you enjoyed this emotional journey, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who believes kindness can still change the world. Until next time, take care of one another and never underestimate the power of a kind heart.